UX designer at Ithaca, and I'm here to talk to you about magic. In this scenario that we just talked about, you conducted a ritual on a set of magical symbols that summoned a car to pick you up. Well, so if you have a smartphone, take a look at the screen, and you'll see an array of symbols, and each one of them is a way of influencing the material world by following a sequence of actions. Well, according to Wikipedia, our arbiter of what stuff is or isn't, magic is an attempt to influence the world using rituals and symbols. So let's take a moment to unpack those terms a little bit. Symbols stand for what you want to manipulate. They can be words or objects or images. What's important is that manipulating the symbol is equivalent to manipulating the actual object. And then you have the concept of rituals, a series of actions you can take using those symbols, which manipulates reality. Things like waving a magic wand around or having a wedding ceremony. These are examples of rituals. And lastly, whatever happens on one level of reality also happens on other levels. The physical and the mental worlds influence each other. And then we've gone ahead and created a digital level of reality. So, this new digital level of reality began centuries ago when we invented numbers. So numbers are just tools for understanding and manipulating the physical world. Well, then we developed rituals for working with numbers, so things like arithmetic and calculus and so on. But these rituals started to get so hard that then we made computers to manipulate the symbols for us. Well, we interacted directly with the hardware, but that's hard and boring. So we invented programming languages, languages of symbols that let us interact with the machines. But then you have the problem, you have to be a programmer to use a computer. So then we made graphical user interfaces, which are full of symbols, to manipulate symbols of reality. So, our interfaces consist of symbols, icons that initiate apps, hamburgers to give us choices, floppy disks to save documents to the cloud, little portraits of us representing us. We use rituals to manipulate these symbols. So we start with things like dragging and pinching and swiping and scrolling. You take these atomic actions that rituals are made out of, and then you combine them with the symbols, and then you have big rituals, like make a duplicate of a file, or create a profile on a website, or post a status about that party you're having this weekend to try to draw people to your house. And sure, much of the time, what we do stays in the digital world. Sometimes you're just moving files around. But our digital rituals also change the material world. Like that example of calling for a taxi with an app, or ordering a pile of books and a furnace filter and a can opener and having them show up at your door. So you have a ritual that moved goods across the world in exchange for symbols signifying value. Well, all right, so what's the takeaway here? What do we do with this? Well, first, a couple of things. You got to keep iterating, keep trying until you find the truly resonant, powerful symbols. But see, the thing is, these symbols, they don't have to be realistic imitations of material objects. What matters is the connection between the symbol and the thing signified. As long as we all believe it'll work, it'll work. And second and lastly, we're drawing together massive amounts of data to build digital representations of humans. So what opportunities and risks do these new magical symbols present? So I hope you find some time to think about this. Look at the world from a different perspective. And in conclusion, here's a cat.